finally back. Time to do a review for The Walking Dead Season 11, Episode 9. Just got done watching it. As you can see, you can't see, I'm in support of the show today with Cancer King, Mr. Cancer King, Ezekiel. At least I'm pretty sure he has cancer. So yeah, super excited the show's back. We're not going to waste any time getting into talking about this episode because just for my, I guess, spoiler-free part that we can say, I really did enjoy this episode a lot. I had just a few little complaints in there, just little things, but overall, after I got through it and I saw everything that the episode had to offer, I was like, man, this episode is definitely a 9.5 out of 10 for me. So yeah, that's my spoiler-free part. And now we're going to go through and break down the episode and talk about some of the stuff that I liked and a few of the things that were kind of, I did not like too much. But yeah, overall, one of the standout awesome episodes for me. So, the cliffhanger, got a hair in my mouth, the cliffhanger from the last episode I did not care for, and this did not really change my mind about it. It seems like the opening scene, just as a little complaint, it seems like in the opening there are more zombies added there. It seemed like they had cleared out, from my memory, it's been months ago, it seemed like they had cleared out all of the zombies, and then they shot the rockets, after they had gotten through all of that. Maybe there were a few lingering in the background, but in this it seems like there's suddenly all these zombies added. They're like in a herd all in front of them, and and that's what's blocking the explosion of the rockets. So just kind of a cheap, dumb cliffhanger. Nothing really came of it. I don't know if we were really supposed to be like that, but it seemed like that's what they were trying to make us think. So yeah, but I will say, a positive, the effects with the zombies blowing up was awesome, and seeing them get stuck with the rockets. I'm still not even sure what that thing is exactly, or where that thing, comes from in our, medieval times or something. I don't know, but yeah, so that was cool. They always come up with new, unique ways of killing zombies, or showing them get killed. So let's see. Maggie and this big dude get into an altercation, which, I kind of lightened up on it because you see Maggie kind of getting her ass handed to her later on. But, she's slinging the dude around a little bit. It looks kind of silly because, I don't think that she'd be able to, sling this dude around. I would have preferred more for her to get, get her ass handed to her, and then the rocket comes in and saves the day. Because it just looks a little bit silly, her slinging this guy around, to me. But yeah, still he gets stuck by the rocket, which was cool. And there's a scene later on, like I said, where Maggie kind of gets it handed to her, So, not that I don't think that she's strong and capable, but I'm just saying this was a very large man. I don't think that she'd be slinging him around like this. But okay, she got a few crotch shots on him. All right. The intro, did it change? I think so. I think they added the windmill burning and maybe a Commonwealth mask in there. If that wasn't in there in the last one, I don't remember. But yeah, that's all I could really notice. It's always interesting to notice what they add in the new intros. Let's see. Gracie and Judith in the basement. I thought this was going to kind of play out dumb, but it did in a way, but I like some of it here. Let's see. I like the way they build up tension good. It's not only the zombies rushing into the basement. There's also the flowing water coming up. Judith dropping her sword, and then them kind of getting scared and having reactions like little kids would. Whenever the zombies are grabbing onto the legs. She usually says something in the videos. I was waiting for it. So yeah, so it built up tension when they dropped him, and then Aaron comes in, and I was worried about Aaron dying because it wouldn't make sense for him to die here, saving his adopted daughter's life, his daughter's life. But no, he sticks around, which I'm okay with because I do like Aaron. We've had a good solo episode with him. He's been around for a long time, and he looks just like the comic book Rick, right? So, okay, he's fine. But we'll get more into something with that I didn't really care for later. Let's see. The face peel on the zombie coming into the basement at Gracie and Judith. I like it when its face peels off. It looked a little weird though. There was one part where the door burst open and the zombies, it looked like the zombies were running in. It was just the way the slow-mo worked with them, but it kind of caught my eye a little bit. Let's see. So Daryl gets in a fight with one of the mercenaries, one of the random reapers, and he gets a cut on his shoulder. I like that whenever they make our, characters that are kind of invincible, you think, get injured, it builds up a little bit. Oh, wow, that's different. So he gets a cut on his shoulder and ends up, killing the guy, getting the drop on him. It reminds me of the fight with Beta. This is why, again, I say it is a good point to end the show as much as I love it, because so much of it is stuff that reminds you of other stuff that's happened in the past, as this does with the Daryl and Beta fight. That's what this scene reminds me of. So, let's see. So Father Gabriel becomes one of the best survivor characters, developed characters for The Walking Dead in this episode. I've thought it before, but it's definitive now. I know people would argue Carol. I think Carol became a victim of her big fan base or whatever, and they kind of, ran it into the ground a little bit at a certain point where they're a little bit self-aware with that. But Gabriel, hopefully it won't turn into that. I think it's just played out just perfect. So he has this question of faith and comes across this guy that claims that he hears God and Gabriel doesn't anymore. He's like, how can you hear God? He gets a little bit frustrated. And back in the day, you look at Gabriel, he probably would have been persuaded by this guy, several seasons ago. But now he's like, nope, I'm not. You think maybe he's listening to him, but then no, he just kills the guy. Super badass. One of his many badass moments in this episode. So yeah, I just love that shit, man. One of Walking Dead's best developed characters, and just so crazy. Would have never saw him becoming this just self-assured badass, Let's see. So we get a hallway fight with Negan, Elijah, and Maggie versus one of the trained mercenaries. I forget his name, but it does. And he's got his mask. A lot of people like to complain, oh, that the Reapers don't wear their mask anymore. No, they don't. But he has it on his hip at least, right? It's there. Okay, so. I found it. But sorry about the background noise too. My girlfriend's playing video games. Let's see. So this mercenary, it reminds you, okay, they are mercenaries, because he's very physically adept in fighting Negan, Maggie, and Elijah all at once, with his, I don't know what his martial arts that he's using there is, but yeah, so they have a hard time getting the drop on him. But Negan is able to finally come up with a way. He slings some dirt or something, rubs some dirt in his eye. If anybody watches, knows about Spider-Man, that's a joke from that. But rubs some dirt in his eye and hits him with a bell. Again, just a unique way to take out a character of a bell. And Negan has his one line, ding ding, because Negan usually has some good one-liners in there, so they gave him one. So I like that. Good choreography, or whatever you want to call it, I think, in the hallway too. So good job to the actors for that. And this is the scene where I'm saying Maggie's getting it handed to her. She's taking a fist. She's about to get stomped by this guy. But Negan comes in and saves her for like the billionth time at the last second. So, yeah, one more thing for them to hopefully let go of the past with for Negan and Maggie. So let's see. There's something. This is one of the things with the episode where I was really just scratching my head every time I saw it. For the entire episode, Rosita, I can't think of her name, the girl from the kingdom with the bow. She always had the bow and wears the armor. They're keeping zombies at bay, and Lydia too, down the stairwell. I don't know if the bodies are just piling up so big, and I don't know what the fuck they're doing, because they don't really give you a clear shot of what's going on with them. But the whole time I was watching, this is just silly. They're just like poking them back down the stairs, but what is actually happening there? I don't think I ever got a good visual of that, and that was dumb. Something else that was dumb, Aaron climbing the pipes without having a hand. If you're really motivated, right, you're about to die. Like I said, I was feeling some tension for Aaron here. Maybe he would. They don't show him get up on the pipe because, of course, it would look silly. But I don't think that he could actually, even as motivated as you might be, you have to be really strong, I would think, to hold up your weight on that pipe with no hand to wrap around. Maybe it helped him a little bit. Maybe it stabbed into the pipe. I don't know. I don't think so. So that was kind of silly. And Lydia comes in with a rope or something and gets him out. I don't know what the fuck was going on there, but okay, he made it out. Why couldn't he have just like climbed out by the inch of his teeth? The pipe climbing shit was kind of okay. Minor complaint though in the overall scheme of the episode. So. There's a funny scene that Lydia has with Aaron. I found it funny whenever she gets Aaron out of the basement, and Lydia's like, you would have done the same thing for me, right? Because Lydia, she was a whisperer, so she needs people on her side. She's not sure who has her back, so she's like, you got my back, right? I need somebody, come on. So yeah, that was kind of funny and sad at the same time, right? Um, Daryl, whenever he's talking to fucking Leah, please just hopefully we'll never see her again, but I think we will. When he's talking to her, um, and he's got the mercenary, and they're having the big standoff, it just didn't feel like Daryl to me, man. Some of these lines where he's in a position of leadership, he just works so well as a right hand, and he doesn't have Rick to be the right hand too. He doesn't have anyone really to be the right hand too now. So he just feels kind of strange in some of these positions. He's either by himself or in a group dynamic. It's just kind of don't really fit in the same, to me. So, I mean, of course he can develop and become a leader and all that, but it just doesn't feel right. Uh, yeah. So anyway, let's see. I'm glad that they continue to keep Maggie in kind of a leadership role, though. They don't forget, even though she was, the hilltop's kind of destroyed now. They still have her leadership come out in different ways. Same with Negan. So here we get into the big punches of the episode, the big meat of the episode, the point where I turn and I'm like, okay, this episode is just alright to I absolutely love it, and I have confidence in them to write the rest of this season. There's an awesome twist. I'm sure somebody caught it out there. There's always somebody smarter or sharper who says, oh, I saw it coming.
He's on me.
But not me. So when Gabriel is on the mic with the sniper rifle pointing down at the guy and shoots him in the leg, and turns out it wasn't a Reaper, and he says, call me Gabriel. Call me Gabriel, bitch, is what he might as well have said, right? So badass. Negan smiles because he's proud of him. They kind of used to have a thing, and Father Gabriel just man right to the top for characters for me. He was already up there, but man, so badass, man. I loved it. And then Maggie, we aren't done yet, people. We aren't done. There is more badass stuff to come. Maggie completely flips her switch. And brutal goes whenever the Reapers, I keep wanting to say saviors, when the Reapers are leaving, and I was just like, oh my god, we're carrying this on more, Jesus Christ, they're gonna make another episode out of this or something. Nope, Maggie's like, nah, I get you guys are tired of this shit, so I'm gonna go take care of business, pulls out her gun, pulls some Rick Grimes shit, I don't even know what you want to call it, bow, shoots him in the back, boom, 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 headshots the guy who's still living on the ground, kicks the knife away. I almost felt a little bad for the guy on the ground. Kicks the knife away, comes down with the scythe into the guy's chest. Negan's watching, just proud of what she's became to a degree, I think. Man, the music kicks up in this scene with a new soundtrack I don't think we've heard before. Just loved it. I got chills during this scene, man. Took Maggie up there. Maggie was kind of, whenever she came back, I was like, oh, I'm glad she's back. Familiar face, But, she's kind of been her back and forth with Negan, kind of being, I don't know, melodramatic, brooding, whatever you want to call it. And it was like, okay, Maggie, you're up there for me again, too. Thank you. Camera work was cool, how it kind of pans with Maggie along, all in one shot, boom, back around. And, Fear the Walking Dead needs to take notes, because you just need this kind of brutal, dark stuff from your character sometime, and it is okay. Just this could go on and on about it, but yeah, Gabriel and Maggie, the MVPs of this episode for sure. And then of course Daryl gets upset because it's his girl. Of course, unfortunately, Leah just gets winged, and I'm sure we'll see her again at some point. But yeah, Daryl's pissed off at Maggie. Okay, let's see, and then we see the death. I'm glad that they're wrapping up some of these loose ends because it felt like there were going to be a bunch. But then Maggie goes back, and all in one episode too. Maggie goes back to check on Alden, who they left, who was injured, and comes to find out that he did die. It looks like what I can read from the scene is a Reaper broke in there and killed him, or fatally injured him, but he got the drop on him first. I think that's what happened, but I could be wrong, or what we're supposed to think. And it's supposed to kind of justify Maggie's actions, because they killed Alden, so... So I think that's what that was, why they got rid of Alden, but, not really sad to see him go. I remember his face, but I don't really remember. I was listening to the commentary after the episode, they were talking, he used to be a savior, and I was like, oh, he did? I don't remember. I remember he was a blacksmith and flirted with Edith, maybe? Damn, I can't remember her name, but, he was just kind of, okay. Familiar face. So then we get another great scene. This is kind of funny in a weird way, where Negan comes with his supposed to be like his bat, but it's his steel pipe, and he's talking to Maggie, like, if you're gonna do to me what you did to them, because clearly you don't give a shit. So I'm leaving for my own safety. But they play the Negan theme over it, the music.
She had borrowed, didn't she? So she wasn't even a perk for her.
Which was great. But Negan's, it just looks funny, but I can see that on both sides. I don't think it's like stupid and misleading the audience, because Negan's kind of just, what do you call it, meandering around how people do when they talk, like I'm moving my hands around. It's kind of what Negan's doing with his pipe, just talking. But from Maggie's perspective, she's like, oh shit. She's getting scared, She's reaching for her weapon, and I like that. But no, so Negan is just going to leave, kind of like the comics. I wish I had paid more attention in the trailers if we had have seen Negan somewhere at the Commonwealth. I don't think so. So I don't know if this is going to be a thing where I'm not thinking we'll wait all the way until the very end, the last episode of the series, to see him like we do in the comic, where he goes away and we see him in the very last issue. I don't think so. But I just don't know how he fits in either, though, right? It's a scary thing. So I know Jeffrey Dean Morgan really likes doing the show, and I don't think that, they can afford to really write off a popular character like him, But again, I just don't know where he fits, so we'll have to see. But I do think this time jump that we get at the end of the episode, and kind of skipping ahead, but I think it'll integrate Negan and it'll integrate Leah somehow into that, since they're away. But after the time, they've come back in somehow, maybe. So let's see. Maybe Judith will go looking for Negan. I don't know. Because it was Carl in the comics that looked for him, but at the same time, Judith didn't really seem upset whenever she found out Negan left. Only, what's her name, Lydia did. I was kind of disappointed about that, but okay. We have a little bit of conversation between Daryl and Gabriel at a campfire, where they're talking about doubt. Just because you have doubt doesn't mean that what you believe in is wrong, Because it's a deep conversation, and it's one of those, Walking Dead used to get shit for these melodramatic conversations, but sometimes it's had in a way, and I don't think they do that anymore since Angela Kane came on, but it's one of those conversations where I was like, nah, this is, I like what they're saying here, and it's where the melodramatic stuff can work. It can sometimes, and this is one of those instances. Let's see. There was a line whenever Daryl comes in, and he says, or whenever Maggie comes and says that Negan left, Daryl says something in response to her, I believe, that I cannot understand. I tried turning on subtitles. It didn't pick it up. I don't know what he said there. Anyway, if anyone knows, let me know, or I'll try to find out. Carol's shirt, this is a weird side note. Carol's looking like a Christmas Carol. I don't know what dressing department dressed her. But yeah, she's got like a Christmas colored shirt on, and Melissa McBride just looks very strange. She's a Christmas Carol. Yeah. So I like the shots of Alexandria being destroyed, the pan out shots of the windmill burning, and yeah, whenever we get there, it's, final destruction of Alexandria, on their very last leg, and they've showed that very well. So then we get some reunitings. We get Daryl and Connie reuniting, which Daryl has his awkwardness with Connie, which I like. He spills the apples, because he's so excited to see her, and hugs her, and talking, I got so much to catch up on you with. But I'm worried that they're going to scrap any romance that they could have with them, and in exchange for Leah, like after the 6 months, maybe they're back together and worked it out. I don't know. Because Connie does this thing where she pushes him, like shoves him, like they're trying to make a buddy best friend relationship. Daryl has Carol for a best friend, alright? I like Daryl's character, of course. I mean, it's Daryl. So I don't want him with a character that I don't like, I want him with Connie. That's just, it's just what it is, right? I'm not one of those crazy shipper people, but yeah, just try to work that back in for me, please. I know the actress of Connie had to leave, and maybe they just thought that she wouldn't be back, and they were going to put Daryl with somebody else, but no, you need to work that back around. And again, I'm worried that they won't. You see Gabriel reunite with Rosita, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, I always think, like, how does Gabriel get with such a young, like, late 20s, 30s, something like Rosita? But after his display of badassery in this episode, I was like, oh, okay, I get it. I get where, that makes sense, right? Although Rosita was with Abraham, she likes the older men. Anyway, so yeah, we get some reunites, Carol and Maggie, and you know, the kids, Judith and what's his name, Herschel. Yeah, everybody reunites and we're happy, and then we waste no time. We get the Commonwealth. Eugene did give up the location of Alexandria to free himself from prison, and we get to see the Commonwealth come in and tell everyone, hey, you know, clearly your place is destroyed. At least they were kind of nice about it, not kind of insulting, like, hey, you're living in a piece of shit here. They're like, oh, clearly, you know, I'm impressed with what you've done, but, you know, clearly you're on hard times. We can help you out. And, yeah, I like the shot with Lance where you have the burning, kind of the ashes of the windmill behind him. It looks cool.
I'm going to sit a game or two out so I can just finish.
And I do like, there was one part I left out, and even Angela King says this was one of her favorite parts of the episode, because it must have just been added in by the actor who plays Father Gabriel. Can't think of his name right now. Seth Gillian, I think. But he has a moment whenever they're like, oh, somebody's at the gates, you know, and after they just got a moment to catch their breath, and Father Gabriel's like, oh my God, you know. So that was great. And then Jerry at the gates, he's like, these guys with you? And then Daryl puts up his crossbow. He's like, oh, I guess not. Yeah, so I loved it. And again, they waste no time, like, integrating them to the... well, we're going to see them integrating the Commonwealth. That's right, because this time skip is a flash forward. It's not like we're present in the episode. But yeah, anyway, I do like the transition to the time skip from Daryl looking at Maggie, and then yeah, they always do good transitions with the time skips. It makes me think back to that tree whenever Rick left and they had the time skip of the tree getting fallen over. But yeah, so this is going to be like one of those, I want to say, like Breaking Bad type scenarios, which I do enjoy these type of flash forwards when shows do them, when they have a scene that's flash ahead and you get to sit and question, okay, how did we get here? What's going to play out to this? So yeah, so Daryl in his Commonwealth uniform, knocking on Hilltop's doors because Maggie either doesn't decide to go to the Commonwealth at first, which is what I'm thinking, and Daryl's trying to, I don't know what's happened here, you know, I don't know. But yeah, Daryl is one of the Commonwealth soldiers and Maggie's at the Hilltop. So, you know, maybe carrying on some of their conflict. It's the start of it here whenever Maggie kills Leah's people, the Reapers, and Daryl disagreed with it. It started that conflict, and it's going to carry on all the way to, I'm thinking the end of this half is where this cliffhanger will pick up. You know, I don't think, or this flash forward will pick up. I don't think it's going to go all the way to the series finale, definitely not. But yeah, we'll get to see, like I said, this 6 months pick up at the end of this second half, part 2 of episodes. And this is just one more thing. Daryl needs to cut his fucking hair. Jesus, I don't know if Norman Reedus just really likes that hair. He used to have short hair, you know, but sometimes you got to cut your hair for roles. It would be just such a nice, fresh, because it's so cool seeing Daryl in the Commonwealth uniform. Why? Because it's something different. It's something new, you know? You know, not the same old damn same old. They've spiced him up a little bit with his broidered, you know, feather. But just cut your fucking hair, man. Back to the short season 1 days, you know, finish the show where you started. They won't do it. It's just his look, I guess. But, and putting that damn helmet on, you know that fucking hair gets in your face, you know, once you put the helmet on. Alright, whatever. Minor complaint. But yeah, so overall, episode was awesome. Super excited to see what's coming next. Looks like next episode will take place in the Commonwealth, having these characters get integrated. And let's see, they're doing something cool. It's going to be like a Halloween special episode. We're going to get to see Pamela introduced. So yeah, awesome stuff. Like I said, 9.5 out of 10 for me. Let me know if you've seen it. If you've seen it, then let me know what you think. I know the whole AMC Plus thing has really pissed a lot of people off because they get spoilers ahead of time, which, you know, I'll say I do know a way to watch it without AMC Plus early. If you leave a comment and you want to know, I'll leave it. I'll let you know in the description how, or in the comments how. But, you know, I understand that it can be frustrating for some people, because even me, who watches it the day it comes out, I'll log on to YouTube, and if you watch Walking Dead videos like I do, you're going to be getting spoilers in your recommendation feed, you know, as I do, and I get frustrated, you know, and dealing with it for like 1 day. So I can only imagine what it's like for the people, you know, who wait a whole week. You know, that does suck. So, yeah, but if you have seen it, let me know what you think, and yeah, leave a like on the video, you know, and subscribe for more. I'll be doing reviews for the entire season, and yeah, I will see you guys in the next one.
I'm on your old gen.